Hi, I'm Tracy Jackson, also known as the Spiritual Cheerleader, and I wanted to come do a follow-up review, part two, of the Divine Feminine Oracle that I received on the 22nd, which was Tuesday. I am in love with this deck. I've been using this deck ever since I got it. When I was going through the initial review, I started talking about the fact that the cards are like a silky, matte finish. And the reason that this is being, that they are this finish is that now Hay House, who has published this deck, is doing all their new cards with this type of finish rather than the gloss finish. I personally like it a little bit more. It just feels, I don't know, more tangible, more like able to grab or whatever than the glossy finish. I do love my decks that have glossy finish, but I really like this deck. One of the things that I observed in the deck when I opened it, originally was the fact that every single card actually like meet you eye to eye. Like they almost like stare at you, stare through you, and really kind of see into your soul. And as I was going through the book, the guidebook, she speaks to this. Megan Watterson is the creator of this deck, and she said why each card meets you eye to eye. She says, you will meet each of these holy ladies eye to eye so that they can remind you of your own light. I want you to experience darshan, a form of seeing and being seen by the divine with each card. I want this oracle to be a sacred mirror so you can't forget just how much divine love you have come from. And that's one of the overarching messages of this deck, is that we are not only human, but we are divine as well. And these cards really do help you to get into that flavor and the essence. As I have pulled the cards, it's just kind of almost eerie how much they hit on soul messages that I need to hear for myself. One of the cards that I have pulled multiple times, and knowing me, I probably won't be able to find it this morning very quickly, but is the card Parvati, which is the goddess of devotion in Hindi. And she always, when I first got the card, I was like, what is this about? Like devotion, what, okay, yeah, like I feel devoted, but it was so interesting that I picked her because the message that I got with the card resonated so deeply with me. It spoke to the fact of, even though like you might be releasing relationships, or, and it talked about the different relationships that you might be releasing. It stated that, there is no separation between you and another, that the love and the oneness is still there. And given, the releasing of relationships that I've had lately, I definitely resonated with the message. And this was one of the messages that has continued to come up for me, and it has continued to encourage me. One of the other things that I really love about this deck is, and I shared this last time, is that she has a soul voice meditation as well as an intention that you can take with you. The intention is almost like an affirmation. And this is for the one that I pulled up was Pope Joan, which is the only female pope. But the soul voice meditation is intended to kind of allow you to hear the messages from your soul. So often we go about, we do things each and every day, and we don't give time to really listen to what our soul is calling us to do or calling us forth to do. And the cards here are not only picking up and sharing with you what is coming up when these cards are picked for you, it's giving you this question to ask yourself as you pick this card. So if you picked Pope Joan, the card is talking about not thinking not thinking everything is possible. It's like believing that some things are impossible. And so the voice meditation that is listed for you speaks to the fact of what helps you to remember that all things are possible for you. And for me, as I when I ask that self my question, my first thing that comes up within me is, the Bible verse, with God, all things are possible, or, if insert whatever with the divine, with, whoever, all things are possible. And we can journal out to that. We can get deeper into that, listening to what our soul has to say about it. But I mean, when I think about that, when I think about, okay, with God, all things are possible. Well, God is within me. And so if with God, all things are possible, God's within me. So of course I can do anything. I can do anything. And the intention that's behind that is the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless, which is just, I'm like, literally, like she embodies kind of, in that intention, everything that my soul was answering me with, right? And that's something that I can plug into my phone in an affirmation reminder, or, I can write it down and look at it throughout the day. Whatever needs to happen, I can make it happen. But I absolutely love this deck. I would love to do a quick reading for the group, all of you watching, to say, what do we all need to know for our highest good today? And this is the one that just popped up. Ooh, and I got her this morning. Kali. She's the mother of the universe. It says, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. I mean, just how beautiful is this card, number one. I love this depiction of Kali as well. And that's one of the other things that I really like about this deck, is that she literally has found people of those ethnicities to portray on each of the cards. So if it's a card of an Indian goddess, it's going to be an Indian woman. If there's a Asian goddess, she's going to have that Asian person portraying that goddess or whatever. And I really appreciate the artist and her collaborating together that brought that forth. And the artist is her. I know her as She Who Is. That's what she is on Facebook and Instagram. Her real name is Elizabeth Cheever Gesseman. So just so that you know, but beautiful artwork. So I'm just going to go to, what you need to know with relation to this card. Obviously, the goddess Kali is this force that comes in, and a lot of people look at her as in the negative light of being destructive and, rageful and all this other stuff. But, really, she's probably one of the most loving goddesses there is. Yes, it might feel as if the ground is coming from under you when Kali strikes, right? But at the same time, she's taking away everything that you don't need, everything that is not serving you and not bringing you to your highest good. She's taking all of that away so that you can get into the flow and be reborn, to be that phoenix rising from the ashes. That's the image that I always get when I think of Kali. So the message here says, Kali is as subtle as a sledgehammer. She shows up to strip us of what no longer serves us. And that sounds good in theory, but in practice, it can feel as if the ground beneath us has turned to sand. All those illusions about ourselves, especially what we think we're capable of, suddenly dissolve beneath us. When Kali sweeps in, we can easily slip into feeling like a victim. It can feel as though events are happening to us rather than for us. Kali doesn't want us to waste another precious second being someone we are not. She doesn't want us to be with a partner who doesn't treat us with respect and love we need, and with the respect and love we need to do the light work we've come here to do. Kali wants to sever the ties our ego has made out of fear or out of false belief that we don't deserve better or more. She wants us to get terrifyingly real. She wants us to reckon with the fact that we are not here to please others or to make them proud. We are here to listen to the singular call of our own soul. Kali is the harbinger of having entered Kairos, which is soul time. And stripping the ego to reveal the soul can feel raw and often heartbreaking, but ultimately Kali has come out of fierce love for the truth of who we really are. She is giving us the opportunity to choose again, to start over, this time from a place of tremendous wisdom and strength, our vulnerability. She lets us begin again from the bare bones truth of who we are. And the soul voice meditation that she's listed here is, what is falling away from my life right now that no longer serves me? Let it fall. Don't try to grab it to keep it to stay on. The things that need to stay in your life after this destruction will stay in your life. And those things that are slipping away or are going away need to go away for your highest good. So the intention here is I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. And so that's what the cards message is. That's the message that, Kali brings as well. Like I said, it's as if you're beginning again. You're the phoenix rising from the ashes. So embrace that fact. Even though things might seem horrible or seem like it's not going to get any better, don't get into the victim blaming. Don't get into the victim mode of thinking, oh my God, this is happening, to me and I just can't get out of it. Think of it as there's a purpose in this. I'm coming out better for this. Obviously that was not for me and it didn't serve me anymore. It might have served me for a time, but it's not serving me anymore as I'm moving forward on my path. Release it, let it go, and embody that nature of the phoenix as you rise from the ashes. All right. So I hope that served you guys today. I really, really love these cards. I cannot recommend them enough. One of the things I do want to say is for people that are familiar with Oracle decks, a lot of times the cards do come with spreads and stuff like that, like the actual guidebook, talks about clearing them and, how to create spreads and the questions to ask and all these other things. And this one doesn't necessarily do that because I think it assumes that most of the people that are using this deck actually have some knowledge of it. Therefore, I would like to provide to you an Oracle Basics guide that I came up with, that helps me to, work on my decks, clear my decks before I get started working with them, and also gives you a couple of quick questions that you can start using on your journey to get to the bottom of what you need to know for your highest good. I'll leave the link in the description below, and I hope that you enjoy it. Feel free to like and comment to let me know how you enjoyed this video or the Oracle Basics guide, and feel free to share it out if you would like to do that as well, and subscribe. I would love to have you as a subscriber because I plan to do more and more of these videos in the future. So I will talk to you soon. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and bye bye for now.